Hey guys, sorry it's late again. My internet broke. I'm not having much luck with this getting it in on a Sunday. So sorry about that. It's only one day late this time. Yeah, this topic again is going to be hard for me to cover anything else that people already haven't covered. So I'm going to try my best anyway. Again, the topics I've looked through and they're all really good and stuff, and I just feel like I might be going over a few bits, but hey ho, if there's any different points of views I can give across, then I'll try my best. So this week's topic is for should you write your own spells, and I think it's obvious in everyone's opinion that it's always best to write your own spells, but obviously you will come across, when you are new to Wicca, or even when you just get a block mind for creativity, there will come a time where you do have to look in the spell books to give you a bit of inspiration at least. So yeah, I just thought I would quickly go through, try and do it a bit quicker than all my other videos, how I would go about writing your own spell, or how I would go about incorporating another spell into your own. So first of all, I would try and look for a book. If you were going to look for spell books for inspiration, or even to take spells from that to put into your own book of shadows, I would suggest that you always look for a book of spells that is in some way related, even if just flicking through the back or the introduction before buying it, just to get a sense of whether you feel this is like sort of leaning towards, it's not saying it's paganism or it's Wiccan related, because most spell books won't be detailed on what it is. It'll just try and generalise everything so anyone can pick it up, but try and look out for the obvious text in the information, which will do to it'll sometimes have versions of the Wiccan read in there saying remember not to use magic for bad, remember that it comes back to you, everything's karma. If it starts to work along the lines of suggesting it's on a pagan belief system, just on general morals and stuff like that when doing spells, then it's probably best to get a book like that than to go in and get a book that has white spells and black spells and is generally just like a book for to draw anyone in for curiosity. Try and look for spell books that look like they're related to paganism, that go along the rules of working with good magic and not sending negativity out and stuff like that, because there'll be a lot that says stuff to do with the earth and how energy is formed and stuff like that, and how we put out our beliefs by our intent and stuff. So I always find picking up books that have a good basis of morals is a good start when picking out a spell book. You don't really want to go into an occult shop and go and find a big black book of spells and be like, oh, that sounds interesting, because it will draw a lot of people in. You know, like a lot of people go into occult shops and will buy out of curiosity, not because they're pagan. So yeah, if you are pagan or Wiccan and you're looking for a spell book for inspiration, try and get one that looks like it's sort of telling you a bit about, you know, morals and stuff. Babbling on again. Yeah, I have two just spell books, and they are a set, and I think these are really good. One's called Hocus Pocus and one's called White Magic. Maybe you can see the white. Yeah. These books are really good. They have a little introduction at the front that says a bit about what magic is and how magic is formed and how to use it and how not to use it. It has a lot to do with correspondences in there, so it'll give you reasons why you're using the stuff, not just picking up a spell book and it'll go, right, you need lavender, you need an amethyst crystal. It will give you the reasons why in there you're using those ingredients. So that's always good to have books like that, and it just gives you inspiration of what things are used for. So I'd recommend these two books. They're really cheap off Amazon. I got one given as a present, and then I bought this one just to see what it was like, really, not really to take anything from it. I would recommend when making your own spells to have a book, and I know I've shown this in practically every video, of magical ingredients, because this is like a really good way to make your own spells, to move forward from just looking at spells and then copying them, because I know a lot of people will start off looking at the spells to get an idea of layout and stuff like that, but generally book spells aren't based on ritual layouts or anything like that. It'd be very generalised for everyone. So I would recommend an encyclopedia of magical ingredients that give you all the reasons why you would need to use that, so you can look up and go, I need to do a spell for protection, I need to do a spell for an unwell friend, and there's a certain ailment or something that they have, and you will look up in here and it'll have it in there for you. And then when it comes to spell layout, I would recommend this book, because even though there's a debate and stuff on this lady, I would recommend finding anything that has good ritual layouts and good spell layouts, so then you can incorporate the spells that you found into a pagan or Wiccan style layout for ritual, and like so it fits in nicely, and it's not just a simple spell that you found out a book. So this is good for showing you how to make lay out a spell. Good for magical ingredients. I would always recommend a crystal Bible for crystal healing and using crystals in your spells. I would recommend books on herbs, books on aromatherapy and my mind's gone blank. Just general books that can give you correspondences, so you can make up an idea on your own of how to work alongside with spell books, how you would create your own. I personally I've took inspiration. I'm quite a creative person myself. I'm quite creative orientated. I like drawing, and I do graphic design in uni. I have done. So I've always been creative in my way of thinking anyway. I've never been an academic person. But for someone that isn't, I definitely recommend taking ideas from spell books to start off with, and then incorporating them into a ritual or Wiccan style layout. For instance, the spell casting, the circle casting, sorry, doing your ritual, depending on if you're doing an espat or any sort of ritual that would mean you have to do that first. So then you can look at the books and say, right, this is where you put in your spell now, after you've done, say, the cakes and ale and stuff like that afterwards, or before, sorry. So I definitely recommend looking at books first, trying out a few of the spells that you get from books, but trying to make your own, if I'm making sense and not just babbling. I do believe that by creating your own, you're putting more of your intent into it, and you are feeling like you're more involved in it, and you're not just getting a book and going, this and there, mix it all about and say a few words and it's done. You make it yourself, you do the rhymes yourself, you put your intent into it, your effort into it, you spend time on that spell. Then it's obviously going to create more of a mindset for you and help you more to believe that it's going to work for you if you feel like you put your 100% effort into it instead of just finding one and reading it out. I generally think that works best for anyone. So if you find it hard to create your own spells, if you are not that way in your mindset, then at least take a spell from a book and switch the words around, write it out yourself, because then you've got it in your head. Then if you write that spell out yourself and you put it into your book of shadows, then you are creating that in your head, and you're not just going to a book, doing as it says, as you've read it, if you understand what I mean. So I do recommend living out of spell books. I recommend looking through books and seeing what works best for you. I hope that's helped. I don't know, I've gone over half the people what they've already said. Just be aware that a lot of spell books are so generalised, and they're out there for the general public to have a look and mess about with. So be aware of books that really might not even have like the right correspondences in there, and might not. You generally look out for ones that look like they're sort of following the pagan path in their morals and stuff. It works better that you probably guess that they're going to be more correct than the rest of them. Than one with the devil on the front, or a witch, you know, stirring a cauldron. So that's my advice, and I hope it helped. I'm sorry if I've just gone over everything else that everyone else has just said, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Blessed be.